Welcome back to Insights That Matters, the show where we take all that research and turn it into knowledge you can actually use. Today, we are diving deep into Suzlon Energy.
Yeah, Suzlon, a big player in India's wind energy market.
Yeah.
And their performance recently, it's been pretty remarkable, I'd say.
You can say that again. To kick things off, they just secured a huge order, like massive. We're talking 1.166 gigawatts.
Wow.
From NTPC Green. Biggest order in Indian wind energy history.
Really?
Yeah, and that takes their order book to over 5 gigawatts.
Yeah.
And get this, these are all firm orders,
So like
committed financing, not just potential projects.
Okay, yeah, I see. That's interesting because it really signifies a shift for Suzlon in the market, right? They're becoming the supplier, like the go-to supplier for the big public sector undertakings like NTPC,
Right.
but they haven't totally abandoned, their commercial industrial customers, which is smart, I think. A good diversification strategy.
It is. Okay, so big orders, that's great, but can they deliver, right? Especially with the monsoon season this year causing major disruptions across India.
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? But despite the challenges, they still delivered 256 megawatts in Q2 of this fiscal year, and that's their highest second quarter delivery in 7 years. So it shows they can execute, even in tough conditions.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
What about their financials? Are they as strong as their delivery record?
I think the numbers speak for themselves. Revenue jumped by 48% year on year, reaching 2,093 crore rupees.
Okay, so for context for our listeners, 1 crore is 10 million rupees. So we're talking about, let's see, roughly 285 million US dollars.
Right. And their EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, that also saw healthy growth, 31%, reaching 294 crore rupees.
So a good sign for operating profitability.
Yeah.
What about the bottom line, though? Are they actually making a profit?
Absolutely. Profit after tax soared by, get this, 96% year on year. Yeah. Clear indication of very robust financial health, I would say. Plus, they have a strong consolidated net worth, 4,495 crore rupees, and a positive net cash position of 1,277 crore rupees.
So it sounds like Suzlon is firing on all cylinders. But we know the wind energy market is tough, right? There's increasing competition, especially from international players. How are they navigating this increasingly crowded space?
Well, they're focusing on quality over quantity. So instead of just chasing every single order, they're being selective, going after the projects with, higher value and better margins. Smart move in such a competitive environment.
Yeah, for sure. Their experience, and their reputation in the Indian market, that has to give them an edge.
Oh, absolutely. They've been doing this for 29 years. They've built a really strong reputation for quality and reliability that's hard to beat. And it's reflected in the 4.7 gigawatts of orders they have, specifically for their S144 turbine model.
Speaking of strategic moves, their acquisition of Renom, that's a big one. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure, yeah. This acquisition, it takes them into the multi-brand operations and maintenance market.
Okay.
So instead of just servicing their own turbines, now they can service turbines from all sorts of manufacturers. Huge growth area, potentially.
That is brilliant to tap into a wider market.
Yeah.
So they're racking up these orders, delivering on them, expanding into new areas. Financials are looking incredibly healthy. It paints a pretty rosy picture.
It does.
But what about the challenges?
Right. Well, one thing that's, stands out to me is the industry-wide slowdown in installations.
Oh.
Wind energy sector in India only installed, about 1,476 megawatts in the first half of the fiscal year, compared to 2,200 megawatts during the same period last year.
Wow. That's a big drop. What's causing the slowdown?
Well, there are a few factors, I think. The monsoon season obviously hit installations pretty hard. And then there's always, the usual things. Delays in getting substations ready and those grid connectivity issues.
Right.
These kinds of logistical hurdles are impacting the entire industry.
So it sounds like some infrastructure bottlenecks that need to be addressed. But I read that Suzlon is still pretty optimistic about, the outlook for the rest of the year.
Yeah, they are. They've got a good number of turbines in the pre-commissioning phase.
Okay.
Which should start contributing to their numbers soon. They believe the second half of the year is going to be a lot stronger. In fact, they're confident about, leading the growth in the Indian wind energy sector.
And what about the competitive landscape? We've already talked about the competition from international players, especially from China. How is Suzlon planning to handle that?
It's true that the competition's heating up. But Suzlon is really banking on those strong customer relationships and their longstanding presence in the Indian market, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they're known for going the extra mile for their clients, and that kind of trust, goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. So building strong relationships, that's key to their strategy. But what about cost management? How can they compete on price against companies that may have, lower manufacturing costs?
That's where their focus on high-value projects comes in, I think. By targeting these projects with, better margins, they can ensure profitability, even in a competitive pricing environment. And, they're taking steps to manage costs strategically, making sure that they're delivering high-quality products and services, right, that justify their pricing.
Yeah, so they're not just relying on low prices to win, they're focusing on delivering value.
Exactly. And they're not shying away from, making those strategic financial moves either. They recently monetized their corporate office and some non-core assets, brought in a cool 440 crore rupees.
That's about 59 million US dollars.
Right. This influx of cash combined with their, strong order book gives them a lot of flexibility for future investments.
That's a really smart move to capitalize on their assets and strengthen their financial position. We'll delve a little deeper into Suzlon's growth strategy in the next part of our deep dive. But for now, let's take a quick break.
We'll be back soon with more insights on Suzlon Energy. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Insights That Matter. We are deep in the world of Suzlon Energy, a company that's, not just riding the wave of India's renewable energy boom, but actively shaping it.
Yeah, and they're not just building wind turbines, are they? It's a whole approach, right? From responsible sourcing of materials to innovative programs for recycling turbine blades. They seem to really understand that sustainability isn't just about the product. It's about that entire life cycle.
Yeah, that's a crucial point. Suzlon's been a pioneer in sustainable practices in this industry. And it's not just about doing good. It's also about building a really resilient business, one that can weather future storms.
Okay, speaking of building for the future, we touched on Suzlon's subsidiary, SE Forge, a bit in the last part. And they specialize in forging and foundry work, not just for wind turbine components, but for other industries too. What's the strategy there with this diversification?
I think it's all about spreading risk and capitalizing on existing expertise. SE Forge is, making inroads into sectors like automotive, defense, railways. Those industries, they need high precision, durable components. And SE Forge has the skills and the infrastructure to deliver.
So they're leveraging that know-how to tap into new markets. A smart move, especially with the uncertainty, in any single sector. Where are they looking to expand geographically with SE Forge?
They're aiming for global reach. They've already secured a few international orders, and they're in discussions with, potential partners in several regions. It's a pretty exciting time for SE Forge, I think, as they step onto the world stage.
It seems like SE Forge is a key piece of the puzzle for Suzlon's growth. It's a fascinating example of how, a subsidiary can become this powerhouse engine for expansion and revenue diversification.
Absolutely. It really highlights Suzlon's commitment to, innovation and adaptability. They're not content to just rest on their laurels. They're actively seeking new avenues for growth.
So we've talked about Suzlon's recent achievements, their financial health, these strategic initiatives. Now let's kind of consider the broader implications of their journey. What does Suzlon's trajectory tell us about the future of the Indian wind energy market?
Well, I think Suzlon's success is definitely, a positive indicator for the sector. The Indian government has these ambitious targets, right, for renewable energy adoption. And Suzlon's performance suggests that the industry is stepping up to meet those goals.
We can't ignore, though, the recent slowdown in installations. What needs to happen for India to get back on track and achieve those ambitious targets?
I think addressing those bottlenecks we talked about is crucial. Streamlining, those approval processes, ensuring timely grid connectivity, resolving land acquisition issues. It's not just about building more turbines, right? It's about creating a really robust ecosystem for wind energy to thrive.
And that ecosystem also includes skilled labor, R&D, supportive policies.
Exactly. And Suzlon is actively investing in R&D, developing these cutting-edge technologies to maximize energy generation and efficiency. They're a vital part of that ecosystem, driving innovation and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Let's talk about government policies. How are, government initiatives shaping the landscape for companies like Suzlon?
Well, the Indian government's implemented a number of policies and incentives to promote renewable energy, including wind power, things like tax breaks, financial assistance, streamlined approvals for wind energy projects. These measures are creating a favorable environment for investment and growth.
So these policies are paving the way for companies like Suzlon to flourish. Sounds like a win-win, right? Clean energy and economic growth.
But Suzlon isn't just focused on India, are they? They're also looking at that global landscape. How are they navigating the international wind energy market? Yeah. So while their primary focus is still on India, Suzlon's keeping an eye on, global trends, global opportunities. They're engaging with international partners, exploring collaborations, assessing market entry strategies for key regions.
It sounds like they're strategically positioning themselves to become a global player in the wind energy arena. But that global market also means facing global competition. We talked about this before, but how is Suzlon differentiating itself from this, growing number of players who all want a piece of the pie?
Well, Suzlon's strategy rests on several key pillars. First, their deep understanding, not just of the Indian market, but also of emerging markets. That gives them a crucial advantage. They've learned to adapt and thrive in diverse and really challenging environments. Second, their focus on delivering high-quality, reliable turbines with, a proven track record of performance. That's a major differentiator.
So they're not just competing on price, they're emphasizing quality, building trust with their customers.
Exactly. And third, their commitment to sustainable practices, responsible manufacturing. That sets them apart in, an increasingly environmentally conscious world.
It's a powerful combination: experience, quality, and sustainability. And we also talked about their focus on building those strong customer relationships. Can you elaborate on how that plays into, their overall strategy?
Well, Suzlon understands that, in this industry, relationships are everything. They go beyond just supplying the turbines, right?
Yeah.
They provide this comprehensive support throughout the entire project life cycle, from site assessment and installation to, ongoing maintenance and optimization. Their acquisition of Renom, which expands their, multi-brand O&M capabilities, that's a real testament to this customer-centric approach.
It allows them to cater to a much wider customer base and really solidify their position as a trusted partner, not just a vendor.
Exactly. It's about building long-term partnerships, not just transactional relationships.
Now, let's shift gears a bit. Let's look at their supply chain. How are they ensuring those timely deliveries and cost efficiency, especially in today's volatile global landscape?
Suzlon's built this well-established and integrated supply chain, sourcing key components from both, domestic and international suppliers. They've been working to strengthen those supplier relationships and optimize logistics, to mitigate risks and ensure those smooth operations.
This focus on supply chain management is it's critical, especially with all the disruptions we've seen in recent years.
Absolutely. Suzlon's proactive approach has helped them navigate those challenges and maintain a consistent flow of materials for production. But it's not just about, managing those existing supply chains. It's also about constantly innovating.
Speaking of innovation, how is Suzlon investing in R&D to stay ahead of, the technological curve in the wind energy sector?
Yeah. Well, Suzlon has this dedicated R&D team, and they're constantly working, developing new technologies, refining turbine designs, exploring innovative solutions. They're investing in things like, advanced blade design, improved generator efficiency, smart control systems, to optimize energy capture and grid integration. And they're also exploring the use of new materials, new manufacturing techniques to enhance, turbine performance and durability.
Sounds like they're not content with just keeping up. They're actively pushing those boundaries of what's possible in wind energy technology.
That's exactly right. Their commitment to R&D is essential for remaining competitive and, contributing to the evolution of wind energy technology.
Suzlon's success isn't just good for the company. It's good for India as a whole, right?
Yeah.
What does their growth mean for, job creation and economic development in India?
Well, Suzlon's growth is creating jobs across the entire wind energy value chain, from manufacturing and installation to, operations and maintenance. It's not just about, clean energy. It's about building a sustainable future for India, powered by green jobs and economic growth.
So they're contributing to India's economic development while also helping the country, transition to a low-carbon economy.
Precisely. And this is attracting investors who are increasingly recognizing the potential of renewable energy.
Speaking of investors, how are they perceiving Suzlon's performance and future prospects?
Suzlon's recent performance, their strong order book, and their strategic initiatives have generated a a lot of positive attention. Their stock has shown positive movement, reflecting the market's optimism, I think, about their growth trajectory.
So investors are buying into Suzlon's vision of a future powered by wind. But it's not just about profits, is it? It's also about doing business responsibly. How is Suzlon giving back to the communities where they operate?
Well, Suzlon's actively engaged in various social initiatives focusing on areas like education, healthcare, rural development. They're also working to promote sustainable livelihoods and empower local communities. Through skill development programs, it's about building a better world, not just a better business.
It's encouraging to see a company like Suzlon prioritizing social responsibility, creating that positive impact in the communities where they operate.
It's part of their DNA. They understand that sustainable success means considering the well-being of all stakeholders, not just shareholders.
But success also means managing risks effectively, right?
Right.
How is Suzlon approaching risk management to ensure business continuity in such a dynamic industry?
They have a comprehensive risk management framework in place to, identify, assess, and address any potential threats to their business. They're closely monitoring, market fluctuations, regulatory changes, supply chain disruptions, and technological advancements, to kind of anticipate and mitigate those challenges. They've also implemented robust financial controls, operational procedures to ensure business continuity.
So they're taking a proactive and strategic approach to risk management, crucial for navigating, the complexities of the wind energy industry.
Absolutely. They understand that in, rapidly evolving market, the ability to adapt and manage risks is critical to long-term success.
Now, looking ahead, what are some of the key trends and challenges that Suzlon is likely to face in the coming years?
The wind energy industry is in a constant state of flux, right? So staying ahead of the curve is going to be crucial for Suzlon's, continued success. One major trend is the increasing size and power of wind turbines, driven by advancements in technology and the need to, maximize energy generation. Suzlon is actively, involved in developing next-generation turbines to meet this demand.
So they're not just keeping up; they're pushing those boundaries of what's possible in wind turbine technology.
Precisely. And another key trend is, the integration of wind energy with other renewable sources like solar and battery storage to create these hybrid energy systems. Suzlon's already, exploring partnerships and solutions in the space, aiming to offer, comprehensive renewable energy solutions to their customers.
This integration of different renewable energy sources, that's a game changer, right? Key to creating a more resilient and sustainable energy grid. But along with these exciting opportunities, there are challenges, right?
Of course. I think one of the biggest challenges Suzlon's likely to face is the, intensifying competition in the wind energy market. New players are entering the market all the time. Existing players are becoming more aggressive.
How can Suzlon respond to, this competitive pressure?
Well, they'll need to double down on their strengths, their deep understanding of the market, their commitment to quality and customer service, their focus on sustainable practices, and their, continuous drive for innovation. They also need to be agile and adapt to the changing dynamics of the market.
Another challenge is the volatility we're seeing in raw material prices and the potential for those supply chain disruptions. How can Suzlon mitigate these risks?
Their strong supplier relationships, their strategic sourcing practices, their efficient inventory management, all of that's going to be crucial. They'll also need to be proactive in, exploring alternative materials, alternative suppliers, to ensure their supply chain stays resilient.
It seems like adaptability and strategic planning are going to be, key to navigating those choppy waters.
You're absolutely right. They'll need to be nimble and strategic in their decision-making, to ensure they can weather any storms that come their way.
And of course, we can't forget about the constantly evolving regulatory landscape. As governments around the world grapple with the complexities of the energy transition, how can Suzlon stay ahead of these regulatory shifts?
Well, staying informed and engaged, that'll be essential. They need to, closely monitor regulatory developments, proactively engage with the policymakers, and be prepared to adapt their strategies to, comply with those evolving regulations.
Sounds like Suzlon is going to need to be very proactive and strategic to navigate this complex and ever-changing landscape, but their track record suggests they're up for the challenge.
I agree. They've shown a remarkable ability to adapt and innovate over the years, and, I'm confident they'll continue to do so in the years to come.
Now, let's shift our focus a bit to the investors who are looking at Suzlon as a potential investment opportunity. What advice would you give to those, considering adding Suzlon to their portfolios?
I'd advise them to, conduct thorough research, just as we're doing in this deep dive. Carefully consider their own investment goals, risk tolerance, and, overall portfolio diversification before making any decisions.
What are some of the key factors investors should, consider when they're evaluating Suzlon as an investment?
They should, thoroughly examine the company's financial performance, their growth prospects, the competitive landscape, the strength of their management team. It's also crucial to understand the risks and opportunities associated with, the wind energy industry as a whole, and determine if Suzlon's strategies align with their own, investment objectives.
So it's all about, doing your homework, making sure that Suzlon fits into your overall investment strategy. But beyond just, buying stock, what can investors do to support Suzlon's growth and contribute to, the success of the wind energy sector as a whole?
Investors can play a much larger role than just, providing capital. They can advocate for policies that support the growth of, renewable energy, invest in sustainable funds that prioritize, clean energy companies, and engage with Suzlon on issues related to, environmental, social, and governance (ESG) practices.
So investors can use their voice and their influence to create a more, favorable environment for companies like Suzlon to thrive.
Exactly. It's about working together to build a more sustainable future, and investors have a crucial role to play in that process.
It's clear that Suzlon is a company with a compelling story. A story of resilience, innovation, and commitment to sustainability. They're a vital part of India's renewable energy journey and have the potential to become a global leader in the wind energy sector.
Absolutely. Their journey so far has been impressive, and their future looks even brighter. But as with any company in such a dynamic and competitive industry, there will be, challenges along the way.
We'll continue to explore those challenges and opportunities in the final part of our deep dive, where we'll delve even deeper into Suzlon's commitment to innovation and excellence. Stay tuned for the exciting conclusion of our Suzlon deep dive. Welcome back to Insights That Matters. We've spent this episode really unpacking Suzlon Energy, a company that's making waves in the Indian wind energy sector.
Yeah, we've looked at their financial performance, those strategic acquisitions, their commitment to doing things sustainably.
From securing the largest order, in Indian wind energy history, to their expansion into those new markets, Suzlon is definitely a company on the move.
Their story, I think, is really a testament to, resilience, adaptability, and that unwavering belief in the power of wind energy.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I kind of want to consider what Suzlon's journey tells us about, the future of wind energy in India and beyond.
One of the big takeaways for me is, the importance of having that long-term vision. Suzlon's consistently invested in R&D, pushing the boundaries of wind turbine technology, even when they were facing setbacks.
Yeah, that's so true. They haven't been afraid to, make those bold moves. Think about that acquisition of Renom. That really propelled them into the multi-brand operations and maintenance market.
Yeah, that move shows they understand how the industry is changing, right? They're not just content with being a turbine manufacturer. They're positioning themselves to be like a comprehensive solutions provider.
And their commitment to sustainability, it's not just, some marketing tactic, is it? It's ingrained in their operations, from responsible sourcing to blade recycling. They're walking the talk.
That holistic approach to sustainability really sets them apart. And it's not just good for the planet, right? It's good for business. It attracts investors. It builds trust with customers. It positions them as a leader in, that clean energy transition.
Okay, looking ahead then, what are some of those, key trends and challenges that are going to shape the wind energy landscape going forward?
Well, the global push for decarbonization, it's driving massive growth in the wind energy market. And it presents a huge opportunity for companies like Suzlon, but it also brings challenges.
One obvious challenge is, the increasing competition. How can Suzlon keep their edge in a market that's getting more and more crowded?
I think they need to leverage their strengths, that deep understanding of the Indian and emerging markets, that reputation for quality and reliability, those strong customer relationships.
And they've shown that willingness to adapt, to innovate, which is, crucial in an industry that's rapidly evolving.
Absolutely. They need to stay ahead of the curve in terms of technology, explore those new markets, and constantly refine their business model, you know, to meet those changing demands.
And we can't forget those external factors either, like the volatility of raw material prices, those potential supply chain disruptions, and those evolving regulations. Those are all challenges they'll need to navigate.
Yeah, those are significant challenges, no doubt. But Suzlon has a track record of resilience, of, proactive risk management. They've weathered storms before, and I think they're well equipped to handle whatever lies ahead.
Their journey so far has been remarkable, and their future looks incredibly promising. They're playing a crucial role in India's renewable energy transition, and I think they have the potential to be a major player on the global stage.
It's been really fascinating, dissecting Suzlon's story, and I hope our listeners have gained some valuable insights into the company and, the broader wind energy landscape.
As we conclude this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question.
Okay. Given Suzlon's focus on expanding that manufacturing capacity and entering new market segments like, multi-brand O&M and forging for non-wind industries, how might this impact their, future growth trajectory and position in the broader renewable energy landscape?
Yeah, that's a really great question. We encourage you to, ponder that question. Share your thoughts with us on social media. We'd love to hear your perspective.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Suzlon Energy, be sure to like and subscribe to Insights That Matters for more, in-depth analysis of fascinating topics.
Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, stay curious.